Hello and welcome to Social Samosa, Rohan. It's a pleasure to be here at FCB Kinnect's office. Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much for coming down.
And congratulations on your win at Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity. Lulumelon EOSS campaign for HDFC won a silver lion. So, could you walk us through the inspiration and what the creative process was behind this campaign?
Absolutely. I think firstly we are very, very happy to have won at this level. But I think more than anything, Vigilante has been 2.5 years of HDFC fighting frauds, fighting financial frauds in the country.
Mhm.
And the icing on the cake is of course winning at Cannes, but the work has been work that people have seen every single day, which has actually made a real impact to people, and that makes us very, very happy. Vigilante's main mission was to fight frauds. And with end of season sales, we also saw certain types of frauds really picking up last year, with AI becoming mainstream, audio manipulation, video manipulation, uh, picture manipulation was happening all over. And we saw that this is a time where a lot of frauds happen, when people are susceptible to doing frauds. And the thought process behind this was to immerse the individual into the entire process of the fraud happening. Rather than this being edutainment, this was a real experience of that. So we created a website called Lulumelon and a lot of different versions of that website. We planted different ads across, and we studied very closely how fraudsters would behave. And we copied that entire process through the system, developed it completely, and then created an experience where people actually became part of the fraud themselves and then created awareness about the frauds. So the entire journey was crafted in tandem with HDFC, with our teams internally. And then Vigilante and Nora Fatehi came together to, well, dupe the customers, but actually give them an experience which taught them about how to be vigilant against those kind of frauds.
Interesting. And what do you think made this campaign stand out?
I think a bank trying to fraud its customers or fraud the market at large, that is something that has never been thought of, never been done, right? Because typically BFSI campaigns are pretty serious. HDFC has been one to go over and beyond that, and to humanize them and to make campaigns that people would love to see today. I think what stood out is the use of technology. What stood out is the real experience. What stood out is a campaign that has been doing this for a period of time. I think those were the things that really stood out for the campaign.
And what made the what were some of the challenges that the team faced while executing this campaign?
I think fraudsters spend a lot of time creating a very, very real experience for the people they are trying to dupe. To create that experience took a lot of effort. Took a lot of effort on the celebrity side, on the tech side, on the website side. Then we also had to get this approved through the right channels within the bank, within the government, to make sure this is all kosher, this is all above board. And so a lot of parts of the journey that were difficult, but I think when we worked together as a team, we could overcome.
Why did you choose to submit this specific campaign to Cannes?
I think solving a problem that the nation is right now facing, done in an interesting manner, usage of technology, and then the scale at which it was done. All of these made it a very ripe entry to submit to Cannes.
Okay. And Rohan, what role do you think the client relationship play in development and execution of successful campaigns like those that were sent to Cannes?
I think first and foremost, trust. Trust is not built overnight, it's built over periods of time. The second one is giving freedom to the agency, and some amount of braveness. I think the client relationship is core to this campaign and to the campaigns that get submitted at Cannes, because it requires deep partnership at both ends. It requires a lot of toiling and hours and hours of work. While you see the campaign in 2 minutes in a case study, it is sometimes years of work that takes to build a campaign like that. And especially with Lulumelon, it is deep partnership that has helped it.
Yeah. And in your view, how does winning at Cannes impact one's professional reputation and career trajectory?
I think it gives a perspective of being graded at a global scale, and that your ideas, your craft, your execution, your creativity, your ability to drive business outcomes is compared to the best of the best in the world. While direct correlation to business or to career trajectory isn't easily possible, it's a testament to the kind of metal, the kind of quality of people, the kind of individuality that you're driving.
And can you share your experience of attending Cannes this year?
Cannes is always a fantastic experience. You get to learn so much from your international counterparts, from your team. But this year was super special because the entire FCB team went together. So it was a collective of us. We shared a common vision. We shared a lot of good times together, and we shared a common collective goal for the future. I think that really stood out for me. The youth, the energy, the warmth of the group. Along with that, meeting my counterparts at FCB Global is always a fantastic experience. And then sitting through some of the talks. I think Elon Musk spoke, and he spoke so well. And we had a bunch of other conversations that happened out there that were really eye-opening.
So any special memory that you're taking back home?
The special memory was that holding a Cannes Lion together with your client at the event, and then getting told by so many people amongst the jury, amongst the audience, that they loved the campaign, they experienced it, and they're so happy for it to win. I think winning by yourself is good, but when others want you to win, that's even better.
And looking at the broader industry, what trends or shifts have you noticed in the types of campaigns that are winning at Cannes?
I think we've gone through a tough phase as the universe, the world has gone through a tough phase over the last few years. We see some positivity coming back into the system, while there'll always be challenges that are happening there. Humor made a comeback into the kind of work that we saw. I also saw traditional craft being at the center of this. One of the biggest campaigns that won was from Coke. It was just on typography. It was very simple in its thinking. Could have been done at any time in the year, any time in this history of Cannes. So I felt that craft and tradition was also making a comeback. And while tech is at the center of everything, tech now has to play a very meaningful role in driving business value, and that's the kind of work I saw winning at Cannes this year.
So Cannes also gives you an opportunity to look at global work. Any lessons that you picked up viewing global work from an Indian lens?
I think cultural context is very important. So whenever you're viewing global work, you first have to spend a little time with someone from the country to understand their cultural context. What might be very relevant in India might not be as relevant in Brazil, might be again relevant in Southeast Asia, and so on. So I think cultural context, behavior at a local level, that's what you can understand through seeing the world.
And do you have any tips for agencies for the next year?
I think the tips is not to keep Cannes at the center of your mind, but to doing great, fantastic, behavior changing, business driving work. And when you do work like that, then it builds a great case study, which enables you to win at Cannes. So I always say, keep the client at the center, keep the consumer at the center, ensure that you're doing work that drives a lot of value for them. And then eventually, those are the kind of pieces of work that you will be very happy to build fantastic case studies for, which can win at a global stage.
Right. And what do you think about India's representation at Cannes?
I think India's representation at Cannes is just growing year on year. And never look at the metal tally as the measure of that. I see people's interest towards India as the measure of that, which is undoubtedly at the center of everything. In all our conversations, the curiosity towards India, the way that India is being viewed is so positive, is so uplifting. I think that's really, really good. What happens in a jury room is not within our control. I think I'm proud of India. I'm proud of what my colleagues do. I'm proud of what the industry does. And we have to look at the growing trend, and there's clearly a growing trend towards India, which I'm very happy to be part of.
So these were the questions. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your experience with us. Thank you, Rohan.
Thank you so much for coming down. Such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.